I got this sketchbook as a gift for my birthday, and I'm determined to fill it. It has 46 pages, and this is page number 2. So here I wanted to try something new, and I wanted to do the first mandala ever in my life. I already sketched the shape, the circular shape, and now I'm trying to draw how the mandala will look like. I'm drawing it with pencil so I can erase it later and build on it. It is my first time ever drawing mandala, so I'm not very sure what I'm doing. I realized later that I made a huge amount of mistakes, that I should have been more careful while doing it, but I think that it turned out fine as the first try. So you can see the symmetry here is not my biggest strength, as it is very asymmetrical, and I didn't realize that while I was sketching. I realized that later when I was coloring and using the black ink. As you see here, I'm outlining it with black ink and black ink pen, and although I erased the sketching color with the pencil, it still showed at the end piece. So I don't know if you have any tips about how make the pencil lines never show up, please share it with me. Here I decided to try this kit that I bought very recently, and it is dotting kit. This kit in fact what inspired me to make the mandala, because I really thought it will suit a mandala art. I started dotting in the middle, as you see, and I didn't have much of a plan. I just wanted to stick with the colors and try the kit and see the potential of it. I tried making the mandala very simple so the dotting will show more than anything, but I think if I were to do it again, I would make the mandala way more complicated and rely less on dotting, especially with the symmetrical problems that I had. At the time I started with the second layer, I wasn't yet finished with the center, but I didn't know what to do more because I felt none of the colors will work, and I didn't want to use any other colors that are not in the kit. In this layer I started mixing, so I started mixing the green with orange to make a gradient. If you don't know that, green and orange usually result in a brownish color, so you can see how I started with the vibrant green and then got to a very brownish color. I was dotting in horizontal lines, which I didn't honestly like the result of it at the end. I think vertical lines looks better, as I used this also method on I think the third layer or the fourth layer. I'm not really satisfied with the result that the second layer looked like, or the first layer. To begin with, I was still getting used to the idea of dotting, and I wasn't sure how to make them all look the same. Also, the color combination wasn't the best. I'm not very experienced with color theory or mixing color, so although I know green and orange will make brown at the end, I didn't like the end result. Nonetheless, I was getting a bit more comfortable with dotting here and with mixing color. I was glad that I found the idea of mixing those color rather than cheating and using other colors. And I think here I used variation of different sizes of dotting tool, and although it may not be very noticeable, the two first greens look different because I used different two greens. In this layer I was a bit more comfortable, and I decided to use my favorite color, and I think this turned out to be my favorite layer of all. And here I decided to go around the shape, rather vertical or horizontal. I thought that would look cute, and in the end I think it did look good. You can also see that some of those dots got smudged, and that because I was dotting while the paint is still not dry. And I used also mixing color thing, but this time I used white. The kit doesn't come with white, so someone could argue that I cheated by using white, but is white a color to begin with? So till now I didn't consider myself cheating. Looking at myself here, dotting gracefully and the piece coming together was really fun, or is really fun. But honestly, while I was making it, it took a really long time and wasn't as graceful of a job as it looks now, because this video is like 10 times faster. But you get to enjoy the speeded version and think that it was very fun and easy for me. And here you can see that I finished the third layer, and it is guess for me. I just loved it. It's my favorite layer, and I forgot to record the pink part, but that's okay. You can see me continuing here where I used the horizontal lines as a method of dotting. I wasn't sure of my color combination here. I mean, I still used the mixing colors and used white, but in general I was struggling with finding good color that would fit with the whole drawing, because like the color combination that the kit provided me wasn't the best. And here I cheated. I used gold watercolor that I had, because like I was really done with thinking about color combination and mixing colors, and I love the look of the gold. Although I would say that watercolor is not the best for dotting. Like the color they provided me, I'm not sure if they're kinds, but they were watery, and in the same time it was like vibrant. It was thick enough for it to show without 2 or 3 layers, but the watercolor kind of gave me a hard time, like the gold watercolor. I didn't necessarily like the combination of the gold, brown, and orange and green. It didn't look exactly how I imagined it. It looks like a bit of a mess, but you learn. I mean, at the very beginning the gold and the brown looked good. Maybe I should have stuck with those variation rather than adding the green and orange, but I don't regret it. I also think it tied it a little bit to the second color. I also added some gold dots to the middle because I thought that will tie it all together, because it got busy really easily and I really wanted the piece to have some coherence in it. I also think that using like 2 different variation of colors in the last layer, like for every shape to have different color from the one besides it, was a smart idea, because they were big, and to fill them with one color would have made one color dominant on the whole piece. Like the blue layer was just perfect. If I were to have done the blue at the last layer, it would have been too much. I was also very tired by reaching this point, so I really wanted to finish with the whole thing, because I think it took for me like 3 days and the result wasn't exactly how I imagined it, but I'm glad that I powered through it and still gave some thought to the color, because those like paper shapes, I guess, that I'm filling right now looks good. I really love them. I love the pink with the blue and the purple. And I think that they saved the piece from being like a complete disaster at this point. And also I can say by this point I was a pro dotter. It just became easily. It wasn't a big deal anymore. I didn't need to dip it every 2 seconds. And I was getting better in filling the spaces. And now you can see everything coming together. And the piece is finished. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed the final result more than I did, at least.